Welcome to Talking Heads on USA Global TV, starring the one and only wonderful Dr. JACALYN. It's a prestigious place where world-class influencers and experts meet, and where you'll find the most trusted advisors and coaches for all things in life and business. Visit usaglobaltv.com to sign up for our newsletter, get the value you need, and be first in line to learn about events and giveaways and other valuable content. Connect with us. Email Dr. JACALYN at usaglobaltv.com to talk about how you can become part of USA Global TV. That's USA Global TV, where the doctor is always in.
Hello and welcome everyone to USA Global TV and Business Talk Radio. I'm Dr. JACALYN KERBECK, and our show today is the power of etiquette and manners. And isn't this topic so relevant to each and every one of us to show up as our authentic selves, honoring people, respecting people, acting with emotional intelligence all of the time, being kind to others. Joining me on the show, as always, is Philip Sykes. He is traveling and has made it a priority to be here. I'm so grateful. And he is the president of the British School of Excellence. Let's welcome him to the program.
Hello.
Hi, Philip.
Dr. JACALYN, such a pleasure to see you as always every Friday, something to look forward to. And it's just so wonderful to see you.
Thank you. It's wonderful to see you as well. Where in the world are you?
I'm actually in South Africa. My mum turned 80 last week, so it was a surprise for her to come over to South Africa and spend a week or so with my parents, who we haven't seen for the last two and a half years, and then catch up with my brothers and my sister as well. So it's a true joy. I'm in very warm Durban, where I'm broadcasting from right now, and it's just such a pleasure to be able to, go somewhere and still be able to commit to this wonderful cause and platform that you have so incredibly created.
Well, thank you. And again, I really appreciate the fact that you are here today and taking time away from your family, and happy birthday to your mom. That's fantastic. I'm going to spotlight you. And for people joining us for the first time, tell us more about the British School of Excellence and what you do there.
Welcome, everyone, and a very good happy Friday to you all. It is such a joy to be here and have this opportunity to share with you that here at the British School of Excellence, formerly the British School of Etiquette, is all about giving you the opportunity to build your confidence and change your life. A lot of people think that etiquette and manners is for posh people or for people out there who really move in different circles, in upper echelon circles. You couldn't be further from the truth. Etiquette and manners is something that is just something that you can equip yourself with the power of it and the tools and the armor of good etiquette and manners, because it will open doors for you wherever you go. Here at our organization, we fully embrace and encompass EQ, emotional intelligence, because we truly believe that the power of etiquette and manners and EQ is the most solid platform that you can create for yourself in order to leverage off that particular platform. So we start with the children as young as sort of 6 years old with our KERBECK program. We move through to teenagers, which is mindset and manners, mindset and motivation, mindset and money. We have a fantastic business excellence course called The Polished Professional. So anyone who's an entrepreneur or working for an organization that wants to elevate themselves to the next level and genuinely take themselves really, on an amazing career and path and journey, to embrace with us on The Polished Professional. We've got such a wonderful course which is called Train the Trainer, and that is our flagship program. Our wonderful guest today has come through that program and stands for such an amazing cause in her world and in life. And then we do phenomenal programs, life-changing courses in EQ, right across the board from youngsters. So we have a beautiful program actually starting with 8 teenagers this coming Monday, which is run over 3 hours, called About Me. So for any of you out there who are wondering about your teenager and wanting to give them a really strong foothold, the About Me program is just phenomenal. I would urge all of you, anyone out there listening, watching, to look at our website, www.thebritishschoolofexcellence.com. Please engage with us. We love conversations, and if we can help you in any way, we would love that opportunity. Not only that, we also focus on working with high or not even hire. We work with organizations in the corporate field on customer excellence, customer service, delivering the best service out there for organizations across the board. So I would urge anyone who's interested in connecting with us to either pick up the phone or send us an email.
Thank you, Philip. And a question I have before we bring out our guest, this is one of our most popular shows. Why do you think that is? What is it about this topic?
Great. Oh, Dr. Jackson, you've thrown me a curveball there. I just hope that we offer huge value, and that what we talk about, people can implement immediately. This is not airy fairy stuff. If you take on the tools, and this is not, by the way, anyone listening out, it's not tips and tricks, by the way. You want tips and tricks, you can go and find that on the internet per se, as in Googling tips and tricks. You want skills and tools, this is what we deliver on this particular show. And I think we bring incredible energy to this. We bring phenomenal guests, not that the other wonderful broadcasters don't, but I think people find this topic fascinating. And I think more so now than ever before, the world could do with really helping people and being kind, being genuine, being authentic, and showing up. And that's another thing. I think, it's about showing up and bringing your A game every single time.
Absolutely. And thank you for bringing guests from all over the world, because it's great to hear different perspectives about etiquette and manners. Tell us about our guest today.
It's such a joy. Today we have IULIA, who is just amazing in every sense of the word. IULIA came from a country which is just outside the United Kingdom, and really embraced life in the UK in many senses of the word. She came as an immigrant, didn't have huge amount of strong education behind her, and she started, I think, her first job in the United Kingdom was cleaning houses and really getting, herself hands-on sort of approach when it came to just getting out there and working. And something that is amazing about IULIA, she went on to study an honours bachelor's degree of international relations from the University of East Anglia in 2015. And while she's studying, and don't forget, she's doing this in a different language. Her mother tongue is Romanian, and she continued to work. She was doing 30 hours a week as a domestic cleaner, and she has had this vision and this passion to help people, but not only just help people, but to help the people within the UK understand how amazing the people are that land up in the United Kingdom as immigrants, their pool of talent and professional backgrounds. And IULIA has set up this incredible foundation. I'm not gonna put the fly in the ointment, but that organization is called Globally Onward, based in the east part of England. And Globally Onward has got so many tools and skill sets that they deliver to help these amazing, talented people pivot and leverage off a platform. And one thing I think we all know, we've all traveled the world, we've all most probably lived in different parts of the world. Landing in a foreign country is a challenge for all of us. And when you can navigate with confidence, boom, things start to open up for you. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome IULIA. IULIA, it's such a true pleasure and a joy to bring you on board into this program on this particular Friday. So welcome.
Welcome to the show, IULIA. Nice to meet you.
Hello, Dr. Jacalyn. Hello, Philip. Hello, everyone. So my name is IULIA, and I'm really excited to be here today. Thank you.
We're excited to have you here. And by the way, congratulations for everything that you've accomplished. And, obviously you are committed to what you're doing, and you are a hard worker. You're very accomplished, and you've got a great social presence as well.
Thank you. And thank you, Philip, for your lovely introduction. It's been a journey. And in the last couple of years, since we set up Globally Onward, it's definitely been a hard-working process to help our applicants.
Can you tell our audience a little bit about Globally Onward, exactly what it is you do there?
Yes, of course. So Philip just gave you a good summary of my story as an immigrant. I came here as an immigrant. I worked as a domestic cleaner while studying in a foreign language. accommodating a very different educational system, and achieved a first-class degree in international relations. And after I finished my degree, I, of course, wanted to work in my subject, and I started to look for jobs. But I put on my CV the fact that I was working as in domestic cleaning. And I thought that that's a reason to be proud of, because I was working hard while I was studying. But then I realized that that wasn't the way forward. And I thought that the employers would see the work ethic behind it, but they didn't. So I encountered a biased employment system. It was hard to navigate the job market. After a while, you get disheartened. So I started to work as a freelance interpreter, and I loved it for so many different reasons. And a couple of years, a year and a half ago, middle of the pandemic, I started to think of what I truly wanted. And what I wanted is to create an organization that would help immigrants and refugees to find jobs and to get into jobs that are matching their skills and qualifications. So we set up globally Onward, and part of the services that we offer is how to create a CV and a cover letter, work on their skills and personal attributes, but also how to do well in an interview. We are also offering them mock interviews. We have another program that is offering how email writing skills, how to write professional emails, and working mainly with women. So far, I realized that one of the reasons that they wouldn't get the interview is there are many reasons, and that can be the culture differences, the system, the credential barriers, the language sometimes. But one of the reasons was the lack of confidence. So here is, I started to research for a course that can help my applicants increase their confidence. And I came across British School of Excellence. And that's my journey. Now I'm writing my final assignment, and I really look forward to, in the spirit of British School of Excellence, to start helping people to improve their confidence and change their lives.
Thank you so much. Wow. You're doing so many wonderful things. Philip, I just wanted to ask a quick question. So I know for the topics we're looking to discuss today, one of them is about the handshake. And I'm really interested in hearing from both of you about, are people still shaking hands? Of course, I'm behind the green screen, so I'm not shaking anyone's hands, but are people back to that? And what is proper etiquette with that?
If I may, I'll start with that. And it's something that we go into in all our coaching programs. And unfortunately, whether we like it or not, the handshake is a very important part of our connecting with one another. Now, we need to respect one another's cultures and backgrounds. For most of us know that a male, if you're meeting someone, let's say from the Arabic community or from a Muslim community, a gentleman would never automatically put their hand out to shake hands. Always, it's actually ladies first. It's a lady's prerogative to shake hands, as it is to give the kiss on either cheek, per se. That obviously doesn't happen until you get to know someone and that your counterpart feels comfortable in embracing in a kiss on either cheek or a kiss on the cheek. Going back to the handshake is definitely, I think it's innate in human beings. I genuinely do, because I've seen it now that many countries have sort of relaxed their rules of engagement and laws, and people are going out more. We've definitely seen that in the UK. It's completely dissipated. So much so that when you come into the United Kingdom, you don't even need to have a test anymore. But obviously, you've got to, report any symptoms of any high fevers. And I've just seen people automatically going back to the handshake. I don't know if you've noticed that as well, Yulia, if you've been much out and about lately. But I've noticed it. And funny enough, coming back to the country I was born in, South Africa, everyone here is either giving a confident sort of fist pump. or they're going straight to the handshake. And Dr. JACALYN, the handshake should be at the web here of the thumb and the forefinger. This is a very central part of our being. There are many more nerve endings in this particular area than most parts of our body. And when we do actually shake hands and we connect on that web, it releases endorphins. It actually releases an energy and a chemical in you which helps you connect with that other person. And that is why anyone giving a good handshake, a firm handshake, not a bone crusher, will always, 9 times out of 10, leave a very strong, lasting impression.
Once again, always learning something from you, Philip. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yulia, would you like to add something to that?
Please, I'd love Yulia's input.
I think there are a few steps that we need to follow. And the first one is to smile, to make eye contact with the person. And then to, as Philip said, keep the fingers out and the thumb up. And then when you want to shake hands, then the elbow should be slightly bent, and then when you shake with the person, you look in their eyes, you smile, and you can lean forward a little bit as well. That can create a nice warm and towards the other person.
Excellent, thank you. I have never been a big fan of the handshake. And I've had to give handshakes to people throughout my whole career. So here's a question I have for you. At what point is it appropriate in a business situation for the person to give the kiss on the cheek? Do you have to ask for permission? Because so many times guys would lean over and give me a kiss on my cheek. And I'm thinking, ew, why did you just do that?
I think on that one, I think in the business sense, unless you really have become pally with that individual and it's a mutual sort of understanding, the kiss on either cheek or the kiss on the cheek is not really appropriate in the business sense or business world. It generally isn't. Having said that, and Yulia and I, with our cohort in our lovely class we had a few weeks ago, we were engaging in this particular topic. And because there were a few people in the cohort who really didn't enjoy shaking hands at all, but you really do, excuse the term, you've got to suck it up, because that handshake is a very important connecting point, along with exactly what Yulia said. That smile has got to smile with teeth. It's got to bring your energy, and your eyes must light up like little diamonds in the snow. Bing! And you've really got to bring, and again, you really got to, I always, you lean in slightly, as you do in this connection on this particular platform now. If I greeted you all, hello everyone, how are you? It's very stiff. But as Yulia, you saw her when she came and she said, good evening everyone, good afternoon, and it's a connection. You lean slightly into the screen, looking at the camera and making that connection with people. Going back to what we were discussing, is you go to South America and they just want to embrace you. It's a very Latino sort of thing. So, I mean, in Romania, how would you answer that question, Yulia?
To be honest, it's been a while since it's been 12 years, but we do handshake. We do. This is what we do, and this is what I encounter here as well. When you meet a person, you handshake. We only do kiss when it comes to friends. Really, or as you said, Philip, when you become really comfortable with the other person, and maybe you're in a friend zone rather than business, only business.
Yeah.
Thank you for confirming that.
Always the woman's prerogative as well, Dr. JACALYN. I mean, there's quite an interesting little tool that one can do without sort of coming across too sort of untoward, is you just put your hand out as if and you shake the hand, and you just gently place your hand on the part of the chap or whoever's about to lean in and give you that kiss. You just gently place your hand in. Obviously, you don't want to push them all. Shake the hand, but it works. You do it in unison. How are you? Good to see you. And the hand comes in, and this would just be obviously on the person's left shoulder. But it takes a bit of practice.
I think we need to have a comedy show. We need to have you on there, Philip. It's great. Okay, I'm going to ask a question, and I know I'm not the only person who feels this way, but long before COVID. As I mentioned, I've never been a fan of the handshake, but of course, obviously, I've been shaking hands throughout my entire career. When is it appropriate to take out the hand sanitizer from your purse or from your briefcase and put it on your palms after shaking hands? Because let's be realistic, let's be honest, especially with what we've gone through in the world. But you don't want to offend anyone. And sometimes you can't just get up and run to the restroom and wash your hands. So what are your thoughts on this?
Yulia, what are you?
Yes, I'll well, I think I would wait, and when I'll have the opportunity to go to the restroom, then I will, and I'll put the hand sanitizer. I will definitely not do it after the handshake.
Okay, Philip?
Interesting question, because it depends how sort of and I love Yulia's answer, because I would have absolutely, I would answer it exactly the same way. However, a few months ago, I popped into our venue in Mayfair in London, and I met with our wonderful sort of maitre d', the gentleman who heads up the dining area that we often utilize, Loris from Italy, and he's been to this amazing venue for many years. And he actually had a little pouch of sanitizer on a, I don't know, it was belt, it was sort of clipped onto his, so it's been designed with a little clip there that you can actually put a little squirt of hand sanitizer, and you can just do that maybe after you've shaken hands. And it was done very discreetly. He did it in such a sort of unassuming, it didn't put me off, put it that way. It was shaking, Philip, lovely to see you again. And then a little bit of hand sanitizer came and said, would you care for some? And maybe that's the way to do it, is to, if you're going to sanitize your hands, then offer it around.
I guess be natural about it.
Absolutely. As natural as possible.
Yeah, and just to close out this topic, when it first came to my awareness, I was in church, and we were at the point where peace be with you, and everyone shakes. And a guy in the next row, he had been coughing profusely in his hand. And so the whole time I was like, oh my gosh. And so I still had to shake his hand. And that's when I started thinking to myself, oh my goodness, what is proper etiquette about when to pull out the hand sanitizer? So thank you for the perspectives and for indulging me on that topic.
No, I think one more thing on that. Don't feel embarrassed. It's become so part of the norm for people to use hand sanitizers. So, I think reach for your sanitizer, offer someone a little squirt, and then squirt your hands. It gives you that get out of jail free card, really, at the end of the day. So you've included everybody.
Fantastic. Yulia, anything you want to add to that?
No, I think Philip just nailed it.
Perfect. So, Yulia, the work that you're doing, who are the people you typically work with?
So far, we've been working mainly with women, immigrants that are arriving in the UK. Some of our clients just arrived in this country. Some have been here for a while now, and they are doing survival jobs, and they would like to find jobs that are matching their skills and qualifications. They're ready now to move forward.
Excellent, thank you. So we just, okay,
sorry, which countries are you finding most of your students are from? Which parts of the world?
Oh, they are from all around the world. I mean, we have people from Portugal, Romania, but then we have people from Kazakhstan and Tanzania. So it's a variety really from around the world, which is fantastic to see, because they bring so much different culture, different. Sometimes they just come with different ideas, and they are just amazing people. And they are so highly qualified. I mean, we have a couple of applicants that came here from senior positions and in their country. So they are aware that they can't go straight into similar positions here in the UK, but they would like to have the opportunity to access at least entry-level positions, but that are matching their careers.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah, congratulations. And it's it's so important to give people these opportunities. And you started a couple minutes ago, we were talking about the handshake. So now you're meeting someone, you've got the handshake, and how do you initiate small talk? I know this is a subject. Some people hate small talk. And once you start going down that path, like, I don't know, let's just get straight to it. I've had that in business. No small talk. What do you have for me? In other cases, people love small talk, but people don't know how to initiate it. So how do we go about doing that?
I love small talk. I was saying to Philip in the trainer course that I'm the person that, I mean, it's great. I'm also straightforward when it comes to business, but I think it's important to initiate a conversation and get to know that person maybe a little bit more and just create a nice foundation. How do you initiate small talk? By talking about subjects that can, asking questions about subjects that are maybe to do with their hobbies, or to do with the weather, or to do with if they've done something exciting that day, or if they had an amazing venture that is waiting for them, or talking about holidays as well. That can be a good start.
Thank you. Philip?
Excellent. Just love what Yulia's sharing there. So true. Yeah, again, I think a lot of people, as you said, Dr. Jacalyn, some people just want to get straight to it. And there is a time and place to do that. But the small talk, I truly believe, is the glue in forming friendships, in forming business opportunities, and forming relationships. And a lot of people poo-poo small talk, and then they don't understand why they don't have a rapport with people. They don't understand why they've never really sort of felt that they fit in to a certain situation or environment. And this often happens in the boardroom, where, let's say, a senior person comes in and just wants the facts, the figures, that there's no rapport building. And the moment you guide anyone in that position on how important small talk is, all of a sudden the energy and the connection and the performance becomes so much better within that organization. So small talk is the glue. And you've got to be genuinely interested in the other person. So if I said to Yulia, where did you go on holiday recently? And she said, I went to Romania. And then I said, who did you go there with? And then I'm just firing questions at Yulia and not really interested in her answers. Then I'm not delivering the glue. I'm not delivering the small talk in the essence that it should be delivered. Small talk is about really taking on board who you're connecting with, being very present, and being genuinely interested in that individual and interested in the answer. And we, when we deliver our coaching and training, we talk about 6 fundamentals: what, when, who, why, how, and where, to incorporate those particular words in your conversation with that person and make it about the other person, not about you. Make it very clear that this is, obviously you will absolutely start to interact because it's hopefully a two-way street. However, it's about the other person. Don't steamroll that person, and don't try and compare your experience with their experience.
Great points. Thank you. Yulia?
I will also want to add a little story. I was talking to one of my friends yesterday, and this friend of mine is 86 years old. Not that it matters, but in the late 70s, there was the Saturday Night Fever, and she is a dancer, a professional through her career, yes, a professional dancer. So she went to a course in London to learn the dancing, so then she can teach it to her students. So on her way back, she was on the train, and then there was this stranger there, and he started this conversation with this question: are you a dancer? And then she, even today, she said she had a really interesting conversation. From that question, they just talk all the way through. She did ask him how did he know, and he said that it was her posture, the way she was walking, the way she was holding herself. And but I think when it comes to small talks, it's really important to ask great questions rather than how are you? Good. Thank you. What about you? Good. Thank you. So I just thought is a conversation that even 50 years later she remembers dearly.
Thanks for sharing that. That is interesting, especially the way she held herself. When I was in my corporate career, very early on, one of the training that they gave was what to say when you first meet a client. You're going to their office. And we were taught to look around the office and see if there was anything that stands out, or maybe their family pictures are there. And I remember a gentleman had this large fish. So I naturally brought up the fish. And he appreciated the fact that I brought up the fish, but he also called me out on small talk. And that really stood in my mind. So how do you know, Philip, you were talking about those points of and making it about them, as were you, Yulia. But that fish had some significance. He was a big fisherman, but he didn't want to talk about it for some reason. So what tips can you give when someone does go into an office, or we're on a Zoom and we see things in the background? How do we know what we should or shouldn't bring up?
That's again another fantastic question. For me, there's those sort of objects. Small talk is not about offending anyone. Remember that. We don't talk about money. We don't talk about family. You don't talk about sexual orientation, relationships. You don't want to talk about religion or politics. You don't want to be talking about COVID or negativity or those sort of things. Those are the no-nos within small talk. Small talk is very much about putting the other person at ease and comfortable topics for conversation, things that will not offend. So I'm not sure, obviously we're not sure why that gentleman was sort of deviating from you continuing your small talk conversation about it, but I would have done exactly the same thing, because you're be observant in this world. The more observant you are, the more sort of switched on you are, that attention to detail, you can really start to bring amazing bits of pieces into your conversation. So Dr. Jacalyn, that's maybe someone, I don't know, we obviously don't know why he didn't want to talk about the fish hanging on the wall, and maybe he just didn't have time, maybe he was very matter of fact, maybe it was a forced meeting, one doesn't know, maybe he was having a day where he's feeling a little bit under the pressure, a little bit challenged, so one doesn't really know. So I think one, as an individual, we do need to sort of, that's where your emotional intelligence starts to kick in, that's where you sort of start to hopefully try and read the other person's body language a bit better, and just look for signals and signs of what are they saying without actually verbalizing it? So a tough question, because I would have done, as I said, exactly the same sort of thing.
Thank you, Philip. And Yulia, before we go to you, so you mentioned, Philip, about family not being a topic. So if they have pictures out of their family, don't bring it up.
Well, if you see pictures on a desk, then absolutely. But if I met Yulia for the first time at a cocktail party or a social event or a business networking event, or whatever it might be, hello, Yulia. Ooh, do you have a boyfriend? That's whoa, baby. Firstly. Secondly, so tell me, how many kids do you have? Whoa, that's two. Hypothetically, Yulia and her partner might have been trying to have children for a couple of years, and it's not happening. Whatever the case might be. So I think you can avoid that topic, because it can be it is personal. So the way I would do that, I would say, so Yulia, as Yulia mentioned earlier, you talk about hobbies, we can talk about travel, we can talk about all those sort of things. And one of the things that I love asking someone, so especially now that we've come out of COVID and a lot of us are able to travel now, so have you managed to get away in the last X amount of months? And Yulia says, yeah, actually my family and I, we went to Romania. And I said, oh, fantastic. So you got a family? Yes, I've got a 2-year-old little boy and my daughter's about to turn 4 years old. And that's how you can really explore if that person has a family. Or she could just turn around and say, yeah, my partner and I, we went to Romania together, or whatever it might be. But that's how you can find out if that person's involved in a relationship, if they've got a family. So I would never directly go into, hey, so how many kids do you have? Now, there are cultural differences to bring into play here. Amongst the Indian people, they will go straight. So have you got family? And I know there are a few cultures that are sort of the European cultures might do that as well. But in general, I would always guide people away from going straight. So are you married? Do you have a family? Because it would come across as too personal, too direct. And people will take offense to that. Maybe that gentleman had just had a falling out with his fish, Dr. Jacalyn. I don't.
Thank you so much, Philip. Yulia, would you like to add anything to that?
No, I think Philip is right. I think we sense when someone is wants to elaborate on different subjects. I think people are more open. They want to communicate more. They will give you more details. But usually, if you're asking about holiday or a hobby, or and they don't bring in members of the family, then I don't think is a good subject to us then. So I think we sense what people want to share, or I hope.
Excellent. And Philip,
Dr. JACALYN, you know, one of the golden rules here is listen. Listen. Don't just hear. Actually, actively listen to what that person is asking you, and that sort of thing. So many of us flippantly create the small talk, but we don't show any real genuine interest by follow-up questions and showing that we're really taking on board what they're sharing with us.
It's interesting that you mentioned that, because that phrase, how are you? How many times do we use that? How are you? And the person's gone. Like, I was going to answer, but you're no longer here. So
Or
that,
they're not even interested in the answer. So, for example, I've got a friend of mine who says, "Hey, Philly, how are you? I'm having a bit of a rough week." "Oh, good.
That's not good.
yeah, you're left feeling, wow, they don't care about me at all.
Just, it's literally, it's almost autopilot. First thing, "Hi, Yulia, how are you?" "Yeah, I've had a rough week." "Oh, good. So tell me how," and literally they're just not connecting. They're not there. They're not present. They're literally coming in with their mind full of whatever they've left behind, or they've just left a meeting. It's about being very interactive, but only interaction can take place when we are here, present, and being mindful.
Absolutely. Thank you. And we've got a couple of comments from a new follower as of yesterday. Nice to have you back, Nat. Good advice. And also, there's nothing worse than being a single gal and having some nosy coworker ask me about kids or telling me about their personal issues with their kid. Awkward.
So, Nat, okay, so guidance here. Don't take offense to it. Don't put your boxing gloves on. Just use the art of deflection. Make a light-hearted joke about it. "Oh, why am I not married?" "Well, that's a long story." Or you never ask a lady her age, or you just say, "You know what, age is just a number." You can really use deflection, use humor, and I'll tell you what, because it'll diffuse that negativity. People pick up when someone's offended. Some people are very bulletproof, and maybe they don't. But generally, we all need to lighten up a little bit when it comes to certain connections and engagement with people.
Okay, what about the question? And thank you, Nat, for commenting. What about the question, are you seeing anyone?
Well, if you are seeing someone, say, "Yeah, I've recently started dating someone," or "Actually, I'm very much single, wild, and fancy free." Whatever your answer wants to be. Dr. JACALYN, depending who you're connecting with, you can bring humor into it. You can deflect the question, say, "Actually, I'm not really interested in seeing anyone right now. I'm just focusing on X, Y, and Z." But again, I think be genuine with it, but don't take offense. Don't take
Thank
offense.
you. We have another comment from that, which I want to expand upon.
The person asking you that question might be the next Prince Charming.
That could be. So Nat writes, "Yay, usually I do deflect it and smile and be nice to people. I'm a hairstylist, so I have to be nice to everyone." So again, thanks for sharing that. And I want to expound upon that, because hairstylists, like other people who deal with the public, they have to hear us go on and on about whatever it is we feel like talking about. And they're trying to provide a service, right? We're in their chair just blithering on. What is proper etiquette when it comes to that? To actually being the client in the chair?
Can I? It's just my view on it, my personal view. I feel like I have a very good friendship with my hairstylist at the moment. So I think we share a lot when we go to. I don't know what men do, but I know women. We tend to be more open, and it feels like. Even if you don't go there for a few months, then when you get there, then you're kind of starting to chat again, and from where you left, I think in this case it just depends on how open and I guess willing to talk about the with her clients. I don't see it as, I think, just be yourself, and if seeing a hairstylist in this case, and is just like a warm experience where then just enjoy it.
All right, thank you. We have a follow-up from that. I just smile and try to be accepting of everyone, no matter how crazy their story is. They want to feel like someone understands. Absolutely. Now, I want to.
That's amazing. Sorry, Dr. Jacqueline, I interrupted you.
That's okay. What I was going to say is, now when you are a client in the chair, you could be getting any type of service, right? And you hear someone else who is just giving every detail about something. They're another client, right? And you think to yourself, oh my gosh, this hairstyle is going to cost me whatever, $200. And I have to deal with this person going on and on. So I think that we have to be highly aware of the fact that other people can also hear us. And what's the etiquette about that?
Yeah, again, for me, it's about situational awareness. We don't need to talk at the top of our voices. We can talk, subtly, and maybe the person, if they're eavesdropping and they can multitask, they might hear what you're saying. But generally, let's be situationally aware. Generally, if you go to a popular hair salon, whether it be men or women's hairdressing places, and they're popular, they're obviously going to be busy. And inevitably, conversations do start. Just be mindful of who's sitting next to you. Be mindful that your hair person can absolutely engage with you, and you don't need to speak at the top of your voice and share your woes or your joys or whatever it is that you're sharing with your hairdressing person at all. And I think, again, from a receiving point of view, as being a person who works with hairs and facial and that sort of thing, you're going to build, especially if you become a regular client, there's going to be a bond and a rapport that you build up. And I think a lot of the time we may feel that person is comfortable to talk to because they're not going to carry what you share, hopefully out of the door. I think everything should be done in if you're a professional, in strict confidence. And as Nat said, just be that sounding board. Sometimes we just need someone just to talk to, or when I say vent, not use him as a boxing punch bag, but just to vent. And when we do leave that particular experience, having sat in the chair and hopefully found some time to just relax, you walk out there feeling a little bit lighter.
Absolutely. Nat has a follow-up. Let's see. Some clients are quiet and just want their hair done. Others feel like telling me about their sex life, their C-section, and their mom's health issues. Just nod and smile. Keep smiling, Nat. That's not easy to deal with. Oh my goodness. One of the other things that we were going to talk about today is also how to use your voice. Your voice, the tone of your voice, the pitch of your voice. So how do we use our voice, and how does that tie back to etiquette and manners?
Yulia, do you want to take the floor?
For me, I mean, we learned about the 5 P's, but I'm not quite sure if I remember them now. But I think it's important to use your voice in a way that is engaging people, that you have a power, but you can pause. You have fluctuations in your voice, so you keep the interest. I guess again is be yourself when you're talking. Try to have like a low tone of voice, but then I think that's. But then if you don't have, then that's just fine. And that's.
Yeah, I think you're on point there. I think you're totally on point. It is, the voice is something that you can really keep someone connected to you, and we talk about the 5 P's: pitch, the pace, the power, the pause, and the projection when it comes to how we connect with people through our voice. Because what we need to remember, our voice is only 7% of our full communication. 55% is our body language. How do we present ourselves? How do we show up? And our body language, physical, actual body language here, from that, as Yulia mentioned, the smile, the eye contact, beautiful posture, as she referred to with that dancer. How do we position ourselves? How do we stand? All of those are very powerful in our connecting with people and communication. Don't forget our facial expressions. Someone once shared with me, or I read it somewhere, I need to teach my face to listen to my inside voice, because our facial expression, our body language will speak volumes way before we open our mouth. And then the 38% of our connection and communication is this tonality. It's exactly what we've just been talking about. You can really connect with someone but have the wrong tone to your voice, and that whole conversation can go completely backwards, sideways, and definitely not forward. And if we all put ourselves in that sort of situation, let's say a loved one walks into the room and says, darling, did you remember to pick up milk? Ah, damn, what was that? And you have a chirp or a go or whatever, and the tonality of your voice comes across as aggressive. You don't maybe necessarily mean to come across as aggressive, but the tonality is putting that blow out there. So we really need to be very mindful, very, very mindful of the tone of our voice, 100%.
And I think when we have a tone that is hurtful, we can see it on the other person's face. Their face shows that we just offended them.
Completely. Completely. 100%.
Agree, yeah.
Yeah.
We have another comment from that, which I think is great. And I really hope people are taking this to heart. Sorry to say, but some women are really unaware that other women don't want to hear about their bodies, their sex life, their political opinion, or church. Ladies need to be aware of that in salons. I think that's really for everyone. If you're in a public place, just think about the fact that what you're sharing, other people are hearing, whether they want to hear it or not. You didn't ask for permission to take over the whole salon with your story.
Situational awareness. It is all about situational awareness. Yulia and I were discussing this on the program a few weeks ago, is that people have just become so into their little worlds that they will talk on the mobile phone at the top of their voice in and amongst a group of people. They will answer the phone while they're chatting to their friends. They will, before lockdown, I was getting a train back from London home, and some chap was on the phone talking at the top of voice, handing his credit card number to a travel agent. We've just become completely selfish in that respect. Think about lowering your voice and having a decent conversation. No one wants to hear what the other person has to share with you. I promise you that. Everybody out there listening, bring it back into a confined, decent conversation where just you and the person conversing with you can handle that conversation. If someone wants to eavesdrop into your conversation, that's up to them. But we need to just become more and more situationally aware in whatever we do and wherever we go.
Thank you, Philip. And I know we've talked about this before, but when I was at the gym, a guy next to me, there's a big sign. It says no cell phone use. And the guy is having an entire conversation on his mobile phone right next to me. And then you don't know if you should say something or not say something. And I wanted to get on another treadmill, but there weren't any. So I was trying to relax. And now I'm hearing about this business negotiation that's not going for himself. Just totally unaware.
Yeah, completely. People have become very unaware. Yeah.
So please, if you're out there, please be aware of how you're showing up, and the fact that when you're in a public venue, it's not your home. It's not your office, not your bedroom. This is where many people are. We've got a couple other comments from that. I love all the engagement. Thank you. Slouching or putting hands in your pocket can come off as really lazy, looking like you don't care. Philip?
Body language, 100%. Be very aware of your stance. How do you position yourself? How do you open up your body language so that you want to connect and engage? I can wear my beautiful blazer and tie, but if I'm standing here like this, and having a conversation with someone, and I'm like, I'm not going to make that same impact and connection with people as when I'm really conscientious. That if I walked into the room, I could have a book on my head, my spine is straight, my shoulders are back, my earlobes are sitting over my shoulders, and you get noticed. It's just the same, that lovely story Yulia shared with us, this lovely elderly lady who Yulia has built up an incredible rapport with over the years. and that she remembers that X amount of years ago because someone commented on how she presented herself, how she entered onto that train. And you do stand out for the right reasons rather than the wrong reasons.
Absolutely. And something I'm just going to put out there for anyone who's able, who is on a Zoom or any of these platforms, StreamYard, the three of us are standing. I stand for all my shows. So 25 hours of standing this week. And I feel like when we're sitting, we're slouching. We're not really, I would just challenge everyone, if you're able to, the next time you have a Zoom call or you're on some kind of platform like this, try standing up and keeping your shoulders back. It's I don't know, I just feel it's so much more professional and it actually feels good doing it.
I think that's a great point, Dr. JACALYN. All during the Train the Trainer course, I was standing. Actually, I was sitting down, but today I decided to stand. And I know Philip, he's been promoting the standing all through the course. So today it's great. It gives you a more of I mean, it does increase your confidence. Your posture is great. You feel, I guess, empowered can be.
Yes, we're empowered.
We are.
Yay! And we've got another comment from the lovely Janetta Barry. Hi, Janetta. She's one of our team members here. I've noticed how conversation naturally balances when we're talking from a heart-centered place. Voice tone spontaneously balances, volume balances, and the ability to read the room becomes easier.
Lovely, Jeanette.
Thank you, Janetta.
Thank you.
And also from that, big thanks for all these motivating videos. I'm an aspiring writer, so it's been really inspiring to watch these. We're happy to have you, and we're happy that you're engaging with us as well.
Awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, that's amazing.
So it's time for us to wrap up, and I would love to have you share with our audience how people can connect with you and who you would like to reach out to you.
Well, we have a website, and that's www.globallyonward.org. And if you would like to send us an email at info@globallyonward.org. Me being here today, it was more about business etiquette, but actually about any type of etiquette, social etiquette as well, how we hold ourselves, how to improve our confidence. So if you would like to reach out to us with any tips, with any stories, maybe with your story as a migrant, whatever you are in the world, or refugee, we would just love to hear from you. Thank you. And thank you, Dr. JACALYN. Thank you, Philip. It was great to be on the show today. Thanks.
Thank you for being here. You're welcome to come back.
Thank you.
Julia, and again, anyone out there listening, please do take time to look at globallyonward.org. And if you can make any form of support or help in this amazing cause, everything in life is about giving people a platform and an opportunity and making a difference in this world. And, just the other night, especially more so now than ever before, being with family, we just said a small prayer around the table. And one of the things I said, please, God, give us this ability to do a random act of goodness, kindness, make a change on a daily basis so that we can set this world in the right direction. And this is what this is all about. And Yulia, what you're doing out there is, boom, we need more and more people out there to realize that every single one of us as human beings can make the biggest difference in this world now and forevermore. I
would like to share one more thought before I just wanted to say that it's so important to really own your story. I think in the last couple of years, I just realized that that's again is empowering. And whatever your story is, just own it. Be authentic, be yourself, be kind. And if with your actions can change the world for the better, then it's a bonus. Thank you.
Thank you. Well said.
Amazing.
Continue the great work that you're doing. And again, please come back and see us, Julia.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Jacalyn. It was a pleasure to be on the show today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Philip.
Thank you. Bye.
Such a pleasure. Take care.
Philip, I'm going to spotlight you, and if you can share with our audience, especially people who are not able to read the banner or they're listening on the radio, who would you like to reach out to, and how do people sign up for these courses?
Super. Well, a great guest on today, IULIA. Thank you for joining us here at the British School of Excellence in Etiquette. We are so focused on helping people and support people put their best foot forward. So if any of you have any doubts about which direction you want to pursue, follow, where you want to take your career, if you want to build your next big opportunity for yourself, here at the British School of Excellence, we love engaging in conversation. And if we can support you through any of our programs that are on our website, www.thebritishschoolofexcellence.com, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. We work with individuals, we work in group sessions, we work with corporates. We have the privilege of taking on board people from all over the world. And not only that, I'm also proud to share and say that we've expanded into various countries. People have taken on the word, I'm not crazy about the word franchise, but partnerships around the world. So we've got a presence in Brazil, Bermuda, Poland, Benelux, Japan, India, Pakistan. We've just launched, in the throes of launching it in Oman. And I'm sure I've left out something. And we're in the throes of launching in Malta. So for any of you out there who really want to, build your lives and help other people, please do engage with us.
Thank you, Philip. Thank you so much. All right, let's just close out with the comments. Nat reaching out to Janetta. I absolutely love that. Thank you. Nat saying a big thanks, everyone. And Janetta reaching out to Nat. See how this happens? It's beautiful. Hello, Nat. Wishing you an inspiring day. Thank you, Yulia, Philip, and Dr. J. Looking forward to hearing, watching more. And then Nat following back up. I mean, I love that. I love that. Thank you so much for connecting. All right, Philip, I look forward to speaking with you soon, and enjoy the rest of your trip and your travels.
Thank you. A pleasure as always. Wonderful weekend. Speak soon. And thank you all for taking the time to connect and engage with us.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Once again, I'm just so grateful that you're all here and engaging with us. I want to let you know our next show is the United Kitchens, and our celebrity chef and certified nutritionist, Ricky McKenna, will be whipping up something delicious. That's at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, followed by the Listening Mentor. I am the Listening Mentor. If you're not aware, I teach people how to listen at an elevated level. And you can find out more on my personal website, drjacalyn.com. And my guest is Caroline Heward. She's joining us from London. And following that, we have Loving Longevity at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. And our guest is the celebrated photographer, Ellen Warner. Followed by presenting Pet Psychic, Amina. And our guest is hypnotherapist, Corky Whitaker. So thank you again for being here, everyone. We will be off the air for about an hour while I get a quick lunch break, and then we'll be back. If you'd like to join us and be on any of our shows, you can go to our website, which is usaglobaltv.com. You can see it there in the banner, and we'd love to have you as a guest. Also, something else I want to share, which is the fact that we have our reunion show coming up. Trying to find Philip's banner. Where is it, Philip? There it is. Okay. If you'd like to join us for our reunion show, that's coming up May the 1st. And what is this? This is open to anyone and everyone who has something to promote. So if you have a business to promote, a product, a service, a book, a song, a film, an event, we'd love to have you join us. We'll be live streaming for 6 hours on May the 1st. And obviously space is limited. We're going to have 4 people per hour. So you'll get 15 minutes to speak on whatever it is that you're promoting. And you'll also get the opportunity to network and meet with the other people who are there as well. So I'll be putting the banner up. If you're interested in joining, you can go over to Eventbrite and just look for USA Global TV, and you can sign up there. But I'll also put it here in the comments. Okay, and my last message for today is I mentioned to you about teaching people to listen at an elevated level. I am a certified life and career coach, a certified meditation teacher, and a certified yoga instructor. And I would love to have you join my elevated listening community. Every Sunday or Monday at the latest, I provide a link to a 30-minute video that I create with several of my team members. We offer a guided meditation, fitness tips, listening tips, and then excerpts from shows that we have during the week that are obviously educational. And once a month, starting this month, we will be meeting on Zoom in breakout groups, so you can actually meet the people in the community. You can figure out ways to collaborate and support each other's work. So you can go over to drjacalyn.com/join and be part of the community. Thank you again for being here. I look forward to seeing you very shortly with the United Kitchens. Bye.